Today we are going to take a journey through space to learn about stars, galaxies, and equipment that astronauts and scientists use to make discoveries in our universe. We will even get to do some critical observing and analysis of our own, just like astronauts do, by looking at shapes we find in space. Our math goal for today is, I can identify and describe 2D shapes based on their defining attributes. This is the Milky Way galaxy. A galaxy is a huge collection of gas, dust, and billions of stars in their solar systems, all held together by gravity, the same force that draws objects toward Earth. Our solar system is just one tiny part of this galaxy, and the Earth is one tiny part of that. What's even more amazing is there are many more galaxies in space than this one. There are so many stars here, it would be impossible to count them. But if you look closely at this image, you may be able to see some shapes. What do you see in this picture? Could you create any shapes by connecting some of the stars? I connected some stars to make shapes that we can identify. Can you find the four-sided shapes? How many did you find? Let's find them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We found 6 four-sided shapes. Notice how there are both blue and green four-sided shapes in multiple sizes. Color and size are non-defining attributes. It doesn't matter what color the shape is, what position it's in, or what size it is. For example, these are both triangles, even though they're different sizes. Because triangles are defined as closed shapes with 3 sides and 3 corners, and both of these have that. Making observations is a very important part of being a scientist. NASA scientists send rovers to explore Mars so that they can make safe observations without having to send astronauts there. This is the Opportunity rover sitting on Mars, and this picture was taken of the rover from its very own camera. Look at all of the shapes you can see in its solar panels. What shapes do you see? Notice how some of these shapes look almost familiar to us, but they're missing a piece. These shapes with openings are called open shapes. Think of the sides of a shape like a fence. An open fence would let all of your animals out, but a closed fence would not. Can you find the open shapes in this picture? Here's an open shape. It's not connected right there. Here's another open shape. It almost looks like a rectangle, but it's not because it's not closed. There's an opening right there. Here's our third open shape. Those endpoints are not connected. Pause the video and try to draw another open shape of your own. Press play when you're ready to move on. The shapes we are more familiar with identifying are closed shapes. In a closed shape, all sides are connected at the endpoints. Can you find the closed shapes? This square is a closed shape because there are no holes. All sides are connected at their endpoints. This triangle is also a closed shape, and so is this trapezoid. Pause the video while you try to draw another closed shape. Then press play when you're ready to move on. Let's learn about some more equipment the astronauts use in space. The picture on the left is the Hubble Space Telescope. It's one of the ways that NASA takes such amazing close-up images of stars, galaxies, planets, and many other things in space. Because of its lenses and mirrors that create magnification, the Hubble telescope can see light of a firefly 7,000 miles away. That's amazing. The magnification helps blow out the image so well that they can study stars and galaxies even if they're very far away. What a great invention. I found some shapes on the Hubble telescope. What do all of these shapes have in common? Are they open or closed? How many sides do they have? How many corners? These shapes are all hexagons. They all have 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they are all closed shapes. No animals would be getting out of that fence. The image to the right is the Cygnus resupply ship. It just finished resupplying the International Space Station in May with items for its crew members as well as materials for new experiments. I drew some shapes on this image as well. Which of the shapes on this picture would fit with the first group based on their attributes? Remember, all of the shapes in the first group had 6 sides, 6 corners, and were closed shapes. Let's look at shape A. It is closed. Let's figure out how many sides it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. Yes, it would fit. It's a hexagon, so it would fit in our first group. How about shape B? B only has 3 sides. It's a triangle, so it would not fit with the hexagons. What do you think about C? C is a circle and has no straight sides or corners. It doesn't fit in this group. What shape is D? D is a square. It has 4 equal sides and 4 square corners. It doesn't have the same attributes as the hexagon, so it wouldn't fit. Look at shape E. How many sides and corners does it have? E has 6 sides and 6 corners, and it's a closed shape. It would fit with the other hexagons. Now, what about F? F only has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would not fit with the hexagons. A and E are our only 2 shapes that would fit in our first group. Can you draw another shape that would fit in our first group? Remember, your shape would have to have 6 sides, 6 corners, and be closed. Pause the video while you try to draw this shape, and then press play when you're ready to move on. This is the International Space Station. Sometimes you can actually see it from Earth as a tiny light in the night sky. It is where the astronauts live and work when they're in outer space. They do a lot of their research and experiments from here. That's just like we've been doing, making our observations about our shapes. To wrap up our practice for the day, we're going to play a game of I Spy. I spy a shape that is closed with 4 sides and 4 square corners. Which shape am I describing? The rectangle. Let's try another one. I spy an open shape. Do you see it? Here it is. Its sides are not connected at the endpoints. Let's try one more. I spy a shape with no straight sides and no corners. Do you see it? It's the circle. Now it's your turn. Think about if you were spying a shape. How would you describe it to someone? Pause the video while you choose a shape and think about the attributes you would use to get someone to guess it. Press play when you're ready to move on. Excellent job, Space Explorers! Here is a recap of what we learned today about identifying and classifying 2D shapes. When looking at shapes, be sure to look at their defining attributes. Is the shape closed or open? How many sides does it have, and are they all equal? How many corners does it have, and are they square? Be sure to ignore the non-defining attributes like color, orientation and position, and size, because they don't matter when identifying and classifying 2D shapes. On your exit ticket today, be sure to be very careful, just like scientists are when they make their observations. There may be more than one right answer, so be sure to check every shape. Happy observing!